everyone, and welcome back to Pop Off the Clock Book Club edition. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Yoseline. We're, reading books. I'm so proud of us.
I know. We are almost done with this year. That means that we're almost close to 12 books that we have read this entire year, and we really did this last year's, what was it, resolution pretty good. So
I think we're doing great.
I'm really happy for us. Our book for October, folks, was, if you were joining us tomorrow, a quick reading of what this book is. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Macer exits a subway car and sees amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins. A legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimates since childhood, borrow money, beg favors, and before even graduate college, they have created the first blockbuster, Ichigo. Overnight, the world is theirs. Not even 25 years old, Sam and Sadie are brilliant, successful, and rich, but their qualities won't protect them from their own creative ambitions or the betrayals of their hearts. Spanning 30 years from Cambridge, Massachusetts to Venice Beach, California, and landing in between, far and beyond, Gabrielle Zevin's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a dazzling, intricately imagined novel that examines the multifarious nature of identities, disabilities, failure, the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Yet it is a love story, but it's not one that you have read before.
When I read that before I read the book, I'm like, what? And then now that I read the book, it's
right?
perfect. Yeah.
As we typically do, we first go into our rating of the book, and then we get into questions and kind of just discuss from there. By the way, guys, the comment section is open, so if you feel like commenting on what your thoughts were, it's an open dialogue, so we'll respond to you in the comments. But let's start off with Yoseline. What are you rating this book, Yoseline?
Okay, so I was
I'm
very
curious.
tough. I was very...
Oh, that was me too.
See,
Sorry, it's both of us. Sorry, we're kind of all over the place.
I was very tough on this book because of the video game aspect of it, but it was such a great read. I want to say I want to give it a 4.2.
Okay.
Because I think it was just very, very well written. You follow these people's lives and you do fast forward and, flashback. And I think it's very easy to
get lost in the sauce.
Get lost, but also follow. And the other thing is, I think it is, it depicts people, human beings, very accurately, how complex and not straightforward and dynamic and just
I feel like you don't leave liking one character because they're so complex. You're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about them, but that's humans. You're not gonna leave liking somebody entirely.
I felt like this is oh, that's someone, this is a real person. It's I felt like a real life story of someone.
No, yeah, I want to give it. I'm not a huge gamer. I wouldn't say that I play video games, but I did grow up playing Mario and all of these things. So it felt very nostalgic for me to hear all these references. And it does kind of go deep into the world of gaming. But for me, it's like a person about somebody's life. You're hearing about their job and what they do in such intricate detail because that's the world that they know so well. So I want to give it a 4.8 because there are some points where I'm like, okay, can you condense? It was the second to last chapter where it's Sadie's view, but she's in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that wasn't necessary. It was necessary, but it took too long to get to the point. So I was like, some things could have been edited down, but overall, from beginning to end was just, the writing got me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm still haunted by it. And even just the Emily Dickens line that they quote in the beginning, it's just so haunting and it makes you think the freights and the grooves. I don't know. It was just such a good book. I really, really...
Even the little side stories Mazer's mom, his grandparents.
Every character was just so... They could hold on their own.
Yeah.
I would watch a story about their lives or read about their lives on their own.
Even Mark's, who they all thought was boring.
I know, exactly. But, such a good book. expect people, some of my friends, you might be getting this book for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, so let's get into now just some of the
questions for book club. So what's one thing that you liked about Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
I loved just the story of it. I mean, the characters and the world of, you know, video games, like what it's like to work in this world I've never known. So I just loved the story of it.
Yeah, I like the same thing. I think that each of them were so complex. There wasn't a good and a bad guy because they each had their faults like humans do. And I did enjoy following them for so many years because I felt like I watched someone's life unfold.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was just like, think about how we met the characters when they were 12 and then they're like 30 something. I think
it was kind of heartbreaking, like,
it felt like
a real
a real human story.
Yeah. So that's why I can totally see how it could be depicted in movie or in TV, because it's such an easy character to dive into because you already know all of its vulnerabilities, all of its insecurities, all of like its accomplishments. She just wrote that story so well.
It's crazy to me, like, to think like,
right?
I can never think of that concept.
And so I was reading more about her because, like I said, I just became so obsessed with this book. And she was saying that she wouldn't make a sequel because she feels like she left these characters off in a way where you can let them go off and be on their own and you feel like you've learned enough about them, where they're solid characters.
Yes, individually. So did your familiarity with video games or lack thereof matter to enjoyment of the story? So I think so. I was just like, video games. However, I don't think the story would have worked with any
kind of field,
industry.
right? Yeah. Like if it was an artist, it's just like, and it was so interesting because it was in the book that I don't know what character mentioned, like if we would have started earlier, if we were born earlier in time or later in time, it would have been a different kind of process of creating our work as engineers of the games due to decades and technology wise. And I just feel like it's such an interesting topic that spans so much time, and it's changed, it's evolutionized.
I mean, I don't know if it's on purpose, but the gaming industry is developing as the years go by, as a human does. So maybe
that was the reason. So the author herself grew up, her family worked at IBM, so she said she always played video games because you know how like the computers would come with games. So I guess it was exploring that world, but I love how it's so cohesive with the story of humans and the evolution of it and people working in a field that's constantly changing.
And it makes sense that she had history with it because I don't think you
write a book. I don't think you write a book if you don't know at least basic. Like, Celine, I don't think would have written this book.
No, because it's like I would have to literally learn about gamings and really like get into it. Because like the things that connect are like, oh yeah, you know.
It was, oh man,
I didn't even know like people like computer science and art, like what Sadie's like all the courses she took in college. I was just like, what?
Yep. It's so I don't know. I think it's so cool. I thought it was such a cool concept because I would never willingly learn the mechanics of making a game. So it was interesting.
So which of the main characters did you identify with the most?
Man, I don't know, because I definitely didn't identify with Sam. I feel like Sam was his own kind of world. I feel like it's a mix between Sadie and Marks.
Me too.
Because Marks is not just there, and oh man, his chapter like really gets me. NPC. Do you know what that means? Non-player. It's like not an important player.
Yeah.
But he's so important. And so I feel like that way where sometimes I feel like I'm just there, but I am important, but I'm not it may not seem like I'm important.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel that way too. Like there's pockets in life where you feel that way. Sadie, like the same, where she's just like very, I don't know. She's so independent. Like,
I feel like you want to be Sadie's, like you said, independence, and the fact that she, how she got into this world. She was like the youngest, like
the girl, like one girl.
Yeah, like she was the it girl of that industry.
Even like Sadie including Marks in her video game as the.
Oh yeah.
Like, Anyways,
I don't make me cry again, Yoseline.
Yeah.
I just woke up. I have bags under my eyes from how hard I was crying from this book.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I've never cried this hard during a book.
So let's go to the next question. So Sadie and Sam feel that their relationship is deeper than the word love can even reflect. Yet they hide many of their biggest struggles from each other. What do you think about the depths of their relationship? I think when people say that you just bond when you're just twin flames or soulmates, but not necessarily romantic. This is the epitome of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as much as they're perfect to be romantically, I don't think it would work romantically.
They're the same person. Mm-hmm. They are the same person because, they both, and even Mark said it, I had to tell you guys what you wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. It was similar fashion of how I had to get you all to do what you wanted to do.
And maybe that's why they both loved Mark so much in their own way. It's weird because do I think, I guess at this stage of life, maybe when they're 60 where it's more companionship and not a hot, heavy romance where you just want to be swept off your feet, maybe it'll work out because that's what they provided for each other. But yeah, I think it's a deep relationship.
So the quote that she put that Sadie, I think it was Sadie or Sam mentioned was kind of their relationship. And I read more into it to kind of really understand what it means. And I feel like it encapsulates their relationship perfectly. It is enough. The freights should be proportioned to the groove. I was reading into it. It means that love doesn't have to be love, a romantic relationship, like you said. It could be something so much deeper than that. And their love was going through every kind of cycle. And I guess I can't even describe the way, because that's the thing with poetry. It's so hard to describe because it's to each their own. But I think their relationship was poetry. I mean, it was so beautiful but complex, but it didn't need to be romantic. And even Sadie, when Sam asked at the end, why was there never anything? She was like, but we did love each other, and it was more deeper than any other sexual relationship or anything, because we just, I don't even know.
Yeah, because I think there was even points in their lives where they were in love with each other, but in a romantic way. I don't think it just never met.
It was never
gonna
work.
Constant deep love that they had for each other was just constant since they were 12 years old.
Yeah.
And even at that, I feel that you can't with her relationship with Mark's, I see it Mark's and him were in front of her and she had a connection with both of them, and romantically it was with Mark's and with you it wasn't. So how can you live your life being well, now that he's dead, I am the only option you have? I feel that could be an issue.
Yeah. I honestly was half expecting him to be so
yeah, I feel like he would be okay with it.
Yeah.
But it would mess his head up.
No. I think that where they were at the end of the book is where they should stay.
Yeah.
I think
how they are. So that leads me to my next question. Do you want or expect Sam and Sadie to end up together?
I don't want it to be a How I Met Your Mother kind of thing.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't piss me off.
I want them to keep their relationship because it's just, that's what makes most sense for them. They're just too similar. It wouldn't work. I don't know. And they have too much back history. It's just, I don't know. I don't think that they would make a good couple. I think they should just stay as collaborators and friends.
I think they make a great partnership and companionship and not necessarily lovers.
Romantic, yeah. And I actually kind of question a little bit of with Sam's sexuality, because he was saying in the book, when he was dating that girl, I forgot her name, that he wasn't into sex. He wasn't into all of that. And I'm so are you into what is your...
Yeah, I think he even said that he was with a man before.
Yeah.
So I also got that I don't know if the term asexual or something like that.
I think asexual is you don't prefer a partner, and I think pan is any...
But it's more
know.
You're just not sexually attracted to anyone, just their mind.
Yes.
Or the connection.
Something along those lines.
You just don't get you're just not sexually attracted to anyone. That's just, you're just I don't want to say the word, but like you're just not excited about.
Exactly. So I feel like I don't even know if being in a relationship with Sadie, if that would bring anything. If he said in the past he doesn't get excited by those things.
Yeah, I think he's just like, oh, she's beautiful and pretty, but it's not like, oh my god,
yeah,
like, hot. She's hot. Like
it's like a different kind of thing. So I don't know. That's another thing.
I do find it interesting how she said that her daughter looked more like Sam because of the ethnicities.
Know, right?
Yeah.
Aww.
It's trippy. What do you think of the more surreal chapters, the ones that read as if the story as a game? The Marks one, like, you know how it starts off like, oh, I'm a bird or something? I'm like, wait, what am I reading? No.
Yep. As soon as I saw I'm a bird, I was like, nope. This is gonna happen.
Looking back at it, it references the strawberry field that his mom did on the quilt thing, and I was just like,
when I started reading, so I got through that page and I saw a strawberry thing and I'm like, is this the part where he died? Because I guess the previous chapter was the worst day ever was in 2005. And then I was like, oh no, are we gonna find out what happened in 2005? No, they had made a reference to something and that kind of clued me in on something about Marks. But yeah, that was the most heartbreaking thing I have ever read in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was weeping.
It was just really, really sad. And then for Sadie's alternate,
it was like the
world,
Oregon. It was the Oregon.
I was very confused in the beginning, and then I'm like, then when the doctor was a female, I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, this has to be Sam.
Oh yeah.
It just like, I mean, when it's like the private chat, she's like, are this Sam? And she's like, it's your wife.
But also like the backstory of the doctor, like, oh, I had a bad accident, so I had to cut off a limb, and I'm like, this is screaming Sam.
Like
where?
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the baby part, and then going back to the baby and leaving it in the ocean.
That was just
like,
strange.
That was a little out
I
there.
definitely preferred Marx's kind of that chapter
point of view.
I think honestly that was my favorite chapter in the entire book.
I did too.
It was like,
you read it, right? So in this one I did audiobook, and it's a girl reading the whole time.
Okay.
Except for that chapter, it was a boy. So I felt like I heard Mark's voice tell his story.
I'm like about to tear up
and it was
again.
a really nice
I'm
voice
kidding.
too. Like I would be like, oh, that's Mark's voice, and I'm like,
yo, I literally I just went through it last night, and now I have to go through this again.
Yeah, so
honestly, and just the fact that it's called NPC, like that, just like,
oh yeah. And then the book, it's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow,
and that
which is
his favorite quote.
And
when I saw that, I was like, wow. So this book is about, I don't know, like they respect Mark.
They respected
Mark's
his input that was shut down because they thought he didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And then it's like that was supposed to be the title of the video game, but then at the end when they lose him, they're like, he contributed everything. Like he was so right on his view.
Absolutely.
So let's name a book about him. Like,
and the fact that, once he died, like you said, they realized just how much he did, because in the beginning, Sadie struggles with the fact that he's going to be called a producer, and like, what does that mean exactly? What will his responsibilities be? But Marks was basically their caretaker.
Yes.
And like, he took care of them. He made sure that they remained friends. He made sure that they kept their relationship going, and he ran that business. Like, honestly, I thought the business was gonna fail once he died.
It would have if it wasn't him. Once he died, when they're like, just the simple fact of like calling someone to set up, like paint the floor and like set up that party they wanted to do, and it's just like Marks had it. Like, it's Marks. Like that's who should have been dealing with this. And then, how did Sam's tragic backstory impact the way he went through the world? I think it pretty much played out. Like, it all makes sense. His highs and his lows were part of his tragic childhood. Like when you find out how bad his leg has been all these years. But then,
God, that chapter when they start talking about how it was poking out of, like, the rod was poking out of his foot the entire time, and he was like, oh, I'll just fix it.
And how he wasn't even intimate with women because of fear of people seeing it. And then it goes like a complete 180 and he's over here like with his cane all the time and being the showman of like the face. It's just like a lot. It's a up and down. I mean, even, you know, his father being absent, losing his mother, being injured, being raised by his grandparents, being in the K-town, like everything that happened to him made him who like is a reflection.
And his mom, she deserves to have her own book or something. I want to learn more about his mom. And dude, when his mom died, oh my God, that got me too. When they were looking for some, I don't know. This book is so sad, guys, but it's so worth it.
Okay, speaking of, why do you feel some people, including Sam, didn't take Mark seriously? I think just because he was a pretty boy with like money.
Oh, absolutely. And this is the other part that got me. You know how they said, Marks, you've had nothing but luck your entire life. I was like, is this the way he had to die? Due to all of his luck and like, he was just always such an
the
outstanding...
persimmons. Remember I loved that. So when Sadie and Marks get their new house and they have a persimmon tree in the back and he's like, it's my favorite fruit. And that's when she kind of is like, no, it's not. But it's his output in life where he's like, it's not my favorite fruit. Maybe it's not my favorite fruit, but the fact that now I have access to it has like just made my life, like it's the little things that like just filled him up and people were like.
And I think that's how Marks had so much luck, is because he never saw every day as I didn't get this, I didn't get that. It's like, I'm gonna make the best out of this. This is now my favorite fruit. It's in my new favorite home with my favorite girl. Like that is the life that he led. And when he went down there to go talk to them, I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why do you have to do this? Like, oh man, honestly, he's my favorite character.
Yeah, actually.
I'm not gonna lie, like he is my favorite character.
And you think about it afterwards when everyone's trying to like go through the grief process and they're kind of like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And how it's now connected again with their gamer mind where they're like, you think you could go back to the level and like redo it because you died, but no, you can't because it's real life.
And that's what I love about the fact that it was in this gaming world. It's like this idea that tomorrow comes tomorrow and tomorrow, but in reality, like it's not like a video game. Life isn't like a video game. And you know, they are so engulfed into this world that when this tragedy happens, it's just like, I don't know.
Oh, it's a good book. Okay, so what do you think happens next for Sam and Sadie?
I think that they will work together again.
They have to do a game.
Yeah, I think that they were going to move forward with Ichigo 3, and then they would probably do something down the line. It's Ichigo, right?
Ichigo, yeah.
Ichigo, right? Okay. That's such a cute name.
Yeah,
like
Ichigo. It's very easy to say.
I loved how they infused like the Asian culture so much into this book. Even like the design, this was based off of that famous painting, and that was their idea for Ichigo,
and the reflective of the lights, because like the water, like you know how much she struggled to get the lights reflecting in the like.
Yo, Celine, I did not know that part, and you got it. Like it's.
You're like, but yeah, that's it. You heard it there. Brenda will be giving this book as a gift, so that's how good it is.
So expect that, people. Yeah, so as we mentioned, this will be adapted into a film. Paramount has bought the rights.
Who do you want playing these people?
It's such a challenge. Obviously, the first person that comes to mind for Marks is Charles Melton.
Who's that?
He used to date Cami Mendes.
Oh, you know who I think of? Which, I don't know his name. He played the friend in Crazy Rich Asians. The one that gets married.
Yes.
Doesn't he give off marks?
Yes, he does.
Like, handsome enough.
Oh my God, Henry Golding. I
think he might be too old.
He's too old, yeah.
But that guy, for sure.
So I was looking up earlier, like, fan castings for this. And people were saying for Sam, remember White Lotus season 2, Audrey Plaza's husband? They're saying that guy for Sam.
He might be too pretty.
Older too, I think.
Maybe like Dylan O'Brien.
Maybe, but he is Asian. Sam is.
Oh, he is half. Oh my God.
Yeah. He's half Japanese.
I forgot. I was just thinking.
Right?
Yeah, he's no Korean, right? Or no?
I forgot. I know that Mark's is Japanese.
Yes.
Sam is Chinese, half Korean.
I
No. He's half Korean, half something else.
Oh yes, because
his mom or his dad was Korean and his mom.
his dad was
or was that
Jewish.
Mark's?
Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
why the baby looks more like him, because Sadie's Jewish, white, East, like what, Middle Eastern, kind of like white Middle Eastern. So that's why the baby looked more like him, because she was white Middle Eastern and Mark's was full Asian, and he was half. So that's why the baby looked like him. But
a lot of people for Sadie, I don't know.
I mean, you also have to think about it could be 30 years, so it'd be like casting
somebody that looks young that could look age. I saw
like
like
just kidding.
I saw in the fan, I saw in the fan casting Maud Apatow.
Sadie. Okay, I can see
Maud
that.
Apatow. Who else? Diana Agron, but I'm like, she's older now. Yeah,
maybe
I don't
as a 30-year-old Sadie, but I feel like she doesn't look like.
Yeah, maybe
Sadie
Sadie
like
Sink?
a half Asian, half Sadie Sink. I thought
Sadie
so
Sink would
but
be
I feel like
cute.
anyone that's like redhead is like I think of her.
I know, right? Oh, because she's a redhead?
Is she not?
I don't know.
I think I just
I
pictured
think they
her.
never said.
I think I just defaulted because of Sadie, the name.
Okay, so for people that are reading the book, there is a book trailer for this.
Oh, there
I need to
is?
show it to you. It's
Okay.
really cute. It kind of made me emotional too. I would suggest looking at it after because it makes so much sense once you've read the book, like everything it shows.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's going to be a Paramount film. It might take a little while because of the whole writer strike and actors thing, so it won't be anytime soon, but you'll have plenty of time to read this amazing book, which we have given
A good
4+ stars.
I think it's
so.
in my top, like, well, we have like what, 2 more books?
out of the I guess this is the 10th out of all 10. This has to be my number 1
Okay.
for sure.
I think it's like 3.
Because I try to compare like at least the emotional attachment I had to the death. The only one that compared to it was Lessons in Chemistry. That death, and I feel like this one literally blew it out of the water. I don't even.
But do you think it's because Mark's would be someone you date, where the chemist from?
I just feel like the character development is so good. I felt so more attached to Mark's than I did.
Because he was longer in the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got to know him more and see everything about him. And I just felt so much for Sadie. Like, she didn't want a kid, and like she got pregnant and she was so excited, and like they're about to start their future, and her and Sam were in such a good place. And then it's like I knew that the other shoe had to drop.
Yeah.
Like as soon as her and Sam were good, I'm like, something's gonna have to happen.
Oh.
And I was actually expecting more, like, to Sadie to have more of a reaction to the fact that they were there to kill Sam.
Well, she did go off of him.
She went off on him
time.
once, but I thought it was going to play more of a role because it's like, it's because of you that he is dead. But she got over it quicker than I probably would have. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, guys, that's our book for October. But we've already kind of told you what our book for November is. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Britney Spears' memoir.
With The Woman in Me? Is that what it's
Woman
called?
in Me.
Okay.
In a news article I saw yesterday, it said that it's already sold like 1 million copies. So good for her. We're going to be one of those 1,000,001.
Yeah, 1,000,001, 1,000,002, and you could be the other 3, 4, and 5, 6. So just make sure to, share this link, recommend this book or any of the books we have. Those are all, in our playlist on YouTube, and just also read along with the new Britney Spears memoir that we'll be doing a recap. Next month?
Yeah,
in a month.
And keep you guys posted on our ever-changing schedules. We are probably not going to be able to release an episode next week, but we will keep you posted on that.
We'll keep you updated on our reading for sure.
Yes, for sure. All right.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, guys.